Wow. Okay, so this is the first session. I've got a guest sitting right across from me. I'll introduce her in a second. But 2026 and already the end of January. How the hell? It's just the small talk. Time flies. How's everybody doing out there? Hopefully everybody is having a good start to 2026. Everybody's healthy and happy. Crazy world we're living in currently. So hopefully you're not too mixed up in that as well. We don't need to dive into politics because that gets messy. I just want to take a quick moment to thank everybody for tuning in 2025. I was looking at all the stats over the holiday season in early January, and my third highest downloads is Frankfurt, Germany. It's pretty cool. So thank you to the people of Frankfurt. My last name is Wagner, so that's my roots. So I feel like it's nice to be supporting my German roots. But I digress. This gets really messy if I don't get into it right away. So let me introduce my guest here. I have Elise Poirier sitting across from me here, clinical solution specialist. That's what we decided.
Yeah, I like that.
I like
the sound of that.
Yeah, because you really have a really broad spectrum and of the digital world, right? We'll get into this too. Like you're a CDA. Like, do you still hold the credentials?
I don't.
Oh,
I gave up the credentials.
Yeah.
I didn't need it for what I was doing at the time, and I couldn't maintain the hours. I would have had to lie, which I will not do.
Yeah. What entails, like, if you're not practicing, how do you keep the CDA?
You actually have to have working hours. I think it was like 600 or something. So I could kind of maintain that for a little while, but then it became just absolutely impossible without, doing some funny business.
Yeah. And you're busy. You're a mom. You're busy. You're hardworking. Like your hours are filled. Like we were talking about before we jumped on about having a cleaner. Like we're being all snobby here, but like buying time, right? Like it's so significant if you can spend that time doing something efficient. Whether that's you're doing your mom duties or just spending time with family too, right? Like it's Let's dive into sort of how you got into this crazy industry. Where did it all start for you? What clinic did you work for, and how long did you do that? Let's jump into that.
Okay. So I actually worked at Joey Tomatoes way back in the day.
Joey's.
Yeah, and I met this amazing woman her name was Anna actually, and she was going to school to be a CDA, and I thought, this lady is so classy and cool, and I just want to be like her. And I had never thought of being anything in dentistry.
Mistake number one.
Right.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
And but she made it sound really cool, and I thought, well, maybe that's a career I could explore. Like I can get behind that. It's kind of like a little bit in healthcare, but not nursing. So I was inspired to go to school from her. And then I did school at Douglas College, and I went into practice right away. I worked with a family dental practice first, and I was there for probably 2 years, and then I went to another family practice, and then after that, I was in pediatric dentistry. That was really cool, actually, like a super good experience, I felt like it was actually more psychology than
no kidding.
Dentistry,
I relate to that. Like Mackenzie, my daughter, she's like, it's a tough case, like getting her there. Yeah. So dealing with the anxiety of that's kind of like the first steps, right?
Yes.
I remember being in just outside of Edmonton in Dr. Itzfield's practice. He's like a dual specialist orthodontist, kid GP.
Yeah.
And really there's a science in that, isn't there? The psychology.
There is, for sure. And not only just with your adolescent patients, but also with the parents.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, there's
right.
like a different way that you have to handle both.
Sure.
And by the end of the day, I was mentally taxed.
No kidding. Yeah.
Not that it wasn't so rewarding. It was amazing. I loved it. It was a great experience, but it's just demanding, very demanding.
Mm-hmm.
So I did that for a while, and then I moved into oral surgery, and that was the last position that I held before moving into sales.
So you really got a really
I didn't specialist.
I didn't really I didn't know this. Like that's a really interesting blend.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
And that was different because I sort of was hired to do a little bit more of the account management and working with the referring doctors, planning the events. But obviously that's not like a full-time job. So I would also assist with the surgeries a little bit, hold the heads, all that kind of stuff. And that was awesome. And I also got to work in Yaletown, which was pretty cool too.
Mm-hmm.
Quite the commute though, I must say, when I had a young family. But that was amazing too. Mm-hmm. I learned a lot from that.
And then when did you meet Tyrell? Like, and was he involved in the lab side of things when you met him?
Well, this is quite the story.
Yeah.
So the second dental office that I worked at, I worked with Dr. Dan Katona. Mm-hmm. And at the time, we were using Ocean Ceramics as our dental lab, and they were putting on a course. And it's been a course that's run for, oh gosh, I don't even know. It's been decades. Let's just say that. So it used to be called Optimal Dental Physiology. Mm-hmm. And the premise behind the course, it was 2 weekends over the course of like 6 months. And it had 2 phases. The first phase was finding a vertical dimension, a comfortable vertical dimension for a patient that is physiologically the best position that their jaw joint could be in. Mm-hmm. And then the second phase would be to restore it, whether that be orthodontically or with a full mouth rehabilitation. So super in-depth, and that's something that requires a lot of specialized training. And
who was doing it back then? Was it Marangos and Liam back then?
No, it was this cool, amazing cowboy guy, Dr. Jim Beck from Colorado.
Yep.
And oh man, he was such a good presenter, and you could tell like he just knew his stuff. He was just so funny, really detailed, and he really cared about like what he was teaching. Mm-hmm. And I didn't do the program back then. Like I did that with him, and then I ended up doing it again with Dr. Marangos and Dr. Liam, which is like a whole nother spectrum of like those guys. I think you can't really teach something like that if you don't really love it and care about the patient.
Sure. And that kind of stuff is like they're entrenched. Like that is like veteran level.
Oh yeah.
You know, those folks that are getting into VDO and jaw position. Obviously, I've sat through those courses and they're great. Yeah. Like I encourage anybody out there to go, you know, reach out to Dave or James or Tyrell or Kurt or yourself and find out about Dent4.
Oh right? Yeah. I understand restoring to new bites and treating patients that are chronically in pain is very intimidating, and it can be easy to sort of shy away from that. Mm-hmm. And I think the reason why a lot of dentists do is because it can be really challenging to know what steps you need to take to actually get that patient to a point that...
Or like, and again, like for those guys, like I've heard Dave talk about this all the time. Like it doesn't matter whether you're a Pankey, Sphere, Kois, like it's a great information, and regardless if you're you know carrying those workflows out in practice or referring, like seeing these things, right? Being able to send somebody to a sleep specialist and knowing exactly like collaborating with patient care and really understanding. Like airway is a big deal, you know. It's something that you know, at least be knowledgeable on it. Mm-hmm. There's some interventions that these general practices can take that could really change lives. Like you know, if we talk about like sleep apnea or airway things, we're talking like years on lives, right?
Yeah, and hey, look, like it's not like if you're exploring that path that you have to do everything, you said it
Mhm.
right there, collaboration, right? Like, I think if you have the right partners to help you treat those patients,
Yeah.
you said it, those are the ones that walk out of the practice and they give you a hug and
Yeah.
you've literally changed their lives.
Totally.
So
Yeah.
they're the most rewarding patients that you could ever
Mhm.
work with.
I'm speaking from like obviously we're not dentists, right? But I would imagine having those tools in your tool belt and having that kind of impact on patients would be, we talk about burnout and all these things, like
Yes.
being able to offer this type of knowledge to your patient base. Like, yes, we can talk about the whole production side of things and getting into full mouth, resto, but if we're moving away from that single unit dentistry, right, and looking at the mouth and like beyond just quadrants even, and the impact that, if things are breaking consistently, getting to the root cause of what's going on, right?
Yeah.
And look at us, we've gone off on this tangent.
I know,
we were
right?
talking
like
about
right
your stuff.
in there.
I knew this is going to be how this conversation was going to go. So,
but that is really interesting what you said, like if you don't have, if you have an airway issue, if a patient has an airway issue or a jaw joint issue, you can put the prettiest mouthful of crowns in there. But if it's optimally not in the right position, the jaw always wants to go where it wants to go, right? And it's going to keep doing the same thing, and those restorations aren't going to last. So it's about working backwards, like and root cause. The
root cause, yeah, no pun intended, right?
Yeah.
And then just hearing like Dr. Marango, so Dr. Liam talk about patients coming back to see them like a decade or two later, and it's still holding up, and you know what I mean. That's kind of the name of the game, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what you want. You want longevity. That's what the patients want too.
I mean, you make more production if things are breaking, but let's do the right things, right?
Right. Well, you know what's funny? You talked about burnout, and I think about this a lot because I do see some dentists that sometimes don't seem like they're really in love with what they're doing.
Yeah.
And it is a really demanding job. And sometimes patients don't really value it or appreciate it. You're not going to come home from the dentist and be like, oh my gosh, I just had the most amazing root canal in my life. Like, holy, you should have seen that GP. That was right down to the tip. And it's like nobody's hugging their dentist for that, right? They're just thinking, well, there goes the Mexico trip.
Totally. Yeah. And where they place value, right? But that's, I think, that's the mission that I've taken on and with Dentist on Demand is like, let's educate the public. Let's put these tools in our dental clients' hands that really helps them educate and talk to their patients. And I didn't realize that. I don't think people really realize out there. And yes, it's tough times and not everybody has insurance to do it. And the dentist is actually a lot more fun to visit these days than prior. But, the intervention that you can take, especially earlier on, is going to save you time and money in the future. But the oral health and body connection, it's a real deal.
Oh, yeah. Totally.
Yeah. Back to the story. So we got back to you've met Tyrell, lab guy. Now you're like just immerse yourself with dental.
We did the program and okay, he'll tell you this story actually. When I walked into the course, Dave Newber, he's the president of Ocean, and he's kind of a mentor for Tyrell growing up. They've known each other almost all his life. And that's a whole other story. But he kind of leaned over to my husband and he said, you got to get to know that girl.
Yeah.
It was like first time he sees me, they noticed me, and then that kind of put that bug in his ear, right? So we were both in other relationships, and we kind of got to know each other. And what I noticed about him is that he's just one of those guys that he just gets shit done, Yeah.
Yeah, certainly.
And he's just confident and takes charge. And he just really impressed me. I thought he seemed like he really cares about what he's doing. And And he kind of defended me at this point with this doctor. And I thought, oh, wow. I was really impressed anyways. So we did this course and we were both in these other relationships. And then the course finished. And after that, he kind of sent this really cute message to my office at the time, inviting us to another course that he was doing. It was on like bonding or something like that. And his goal was like, I got to get this girl back looped into the circle here. So go to this course.
A bit evil, isn't it? No,
yeah, he was plotting. He was
totally
plotting
kidding.
evil plots.
Yeah.
And so I go to this course and then it finishes. It was just a day course. And he's like, okay, guys, so who wants to go to Cactus Club? And we're going to go and have a couple drinks or whatever. And really he just wanted to continue the night. And he said, it was like all about me. Right.
Of course.
And so I go to this thing and everybody sort of dwindles away and it's just me, him, and another guy that used to work at Ocean as well. I went to go to the washroom. I came back and he told me later that when I was gone, he said to the guy, when I kick you under the table, you got to get up and leave because I got to say something to this girl. And so that's what he did, right? He's like, okay, he kicks him under the table. The guy gets up and he goes, hey, you got the bill, right? And he walks out. And then it's just the two of us there. And we're talking and he kind of says, he's like, okay, so I've been wanting to say something to you. I have feelings for you.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And then he gets down on one knee right there.
Right? And then he says this, like, he goes, I just want to know if you're happy, because if you're not happy, you need to know that I can make you happy.
Oh,
and I was like, oh my gosh, this guy just changed my life.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know what any other woman would do in this situation, but like for me, I was like, okay. I'm impressed. And then my boyfriend was picking me up in 15 minutes. And so he had to get this out really quick. And he just like went straight to the point. And then I had to go. So we stood up and then I had this like long lingering hug. And that's when something changed. So I got home and then, he went home and he told his girlfriend at the time, he was just like, I can't have feelings with somebody else when I'm with someone. Like, I got to end this. So he broke up with his girlfriend that night. And then I went home and I kind of thought about it overnight. And I'm just there. I'm like washing dishes and stuff. And I just look at my boyfriend at the time and I said, I don't think we should be together anymore. And he was like, sorry, what? Like, so confused. And that was pretty much it. And then I moved out because I was living with him at the time. So that was a bit awkward. And then a week later, we went on our first date. And then we were like 2 weeks. He's talking about marriage. I'm freaking out, right? Because I'm just thinking like, whoa. This is going really fast. And
like you said, he gets things done.
He knows what he wants.
Yeah,
and he just like
getting it done. Right. Yeah.
Gets it done. So
yeah,
he was like dove right in. And, I was there, but I was very skeptical. I'd never encountered anybody that actually had the character that they portrayed authentically. And so, yeah, it freaked me out at first. And I eventually, he's like, wears his heart on his sleeve. He's an open book. So I recognized that in him. And 5 months after we started dating, we got engaged. And then 10 months after that, we were married. And this year in October, it will be, oh my gosh,
we're talking,
I think,
about
17 years.
Yeah, we're talking like, I was going to say, flash forward, right? Yeah.
Been a while.
It's crazy. And two beautiful little kids. And you guys got to have a great little life together. And it's awesome. Like a dental industry love story.
I know.
It's awesome. Yeah. So now we've got two timelines going here.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
so the professional, the personal.
Yeah. Let's jump back to the professional, and then we can jump back to both, because like now where you're at, they're both kind of together again, right?
Yeah.
Like you're
synergistically united.
and we'll get there. So let's talk about the next steps in your journey professionally. So clinically, you're, working oral surgery.
Mm-hmm.
Where did it go from there?
Yeah. Okay. So now we're going back in time to my last CDA role. And I already explained that oral surgeon, a little bit of marketing, a little bit of events planning and whatnot. And I was going on my second mat leave with my son. And so I did that, and I had plans to go back to this role after I was done my mat leave. And it was PDC of probably like 2015 or so it would have been 2016. I was asked, or actually I wasn't asked to do this, but one of my colleagues, she was approached to potentially demonstrate this whitening product at PDC at the Patterson booth at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, "Oh gosh, no, definitely don't want to do that. Like, that's not my jam."
Yeah.
And but she said, "Hey, Elise might want to do that." And so he approached me and he said, "Would you want to do this? You just got to put this whitening tray in and put the light on. You got to do it at the booth or whatever for anybody that wants to sample it." I'm like, "Wow, that sounds cool. Like, I'm on mat leave. Sure, I'm going to be there anyways. I'd love to do it." So I worked those 2 days and I was demonstrating this whitening product. And it's funny, actually, my husband came to the booth and he like heard my spiel and I was like doing the demo and everything. And he was like, "Holy, I didn't really know, like, you sound like you invented this product. Like, this is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
You sound so natural." I'm like, yeah, it felt really good. Like, I like doing this kind of stuff. And so it kind of got me thinking. And then after the show, the company's owner asked me if I might want to represent the product for all of Canada. And I was like, I don't know. I'm not really passionate about whitening products and it kind of seems risky. I'm not a salesperson. Like, I don't think I could do that. But, I was interested and I was flattered. I was definitely flattered. And I was supposed to go back from mat leave to my previous office. And so it just didn't feel right to do that at the time. And it felt like really risky. So I went back to the office and I was a CDA and, the days were long and I was away from my 1-year-old and my, at the time, 4-year-old daughter. And I was also commuting. And I started thinking like, yeah, like, what would it be like to have a little more flexibility? And they kept asking. They were like, "Are you sure? Like, this would be the wage and this is what you do and you can make your own schedule." And so kind of was playing in the back of my mind. And then Ty, my husband, said to me, he was like, "We've got flexibility now. Like, why don't you just give it a try? You can always go back to be a dental assistant. So, like, we don't have anything to lose." And so I did. I took the role and I did that for 7 months. And, once you kind of get into sales, you get noticed. And then different companies were approaching me and like, "Well, what about this role? What about this role?" And so I sort of had my own pick of what I wanted to do. And long story short, I had all these different roles, all the different dealers and things that were presented to me. And Henry Schein didn't have a role. But then they suddenly had a role that they kind of created for me as a digital specialist.
Mm-hmm.
And that was more for intraoral cameras, sensors, imaging software, and sort of like smaller stuff, right? And it was a role that they hadn't had before. And it really appealed to me because I like to know everything about everything. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, oh, it's kind of a specialist role. It's not really about the sales side. It's like, I just need to know this product and I need to be able to explain the benefits and help people work through the challenges and whatnot. Like, this is my thing.
Coming from your background being in clinic, like it's
yeah, you
can translate that, right? Like,
totally.
Like clinical experiences, I wish I had some. It would like to really, the language, what they're expecting, especially with your blend of experience in clinic, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But here's the thing that they don't really tell you is like, just because you have clinical knowledge doesn't mean you'll be a good salesperson.
Oh, which
I had to learn that, you know?
Yeah, right.
I thought,
but I think a good salesperson isn't pushing the things that people don't need. You're really finding the fit, right? Like, you don't want to sell something that's going to collect dust in a corner because that's Great,
Absolutely.
great. You make the short-term sale, and that's where the company that you work for and backing up, and the sales, the training for a particular piece of technology is really crucial in that whole sales process. Like,
Yes,
let's
so
make that
important.
sale, and like let's make sure that this is going to be utilized to its entirety. And it's like you buy a car, right, with all the bells and whistles. You don't use the car for its breadth
Yeah.
of capability, but that's like we want to look at long term, especially you're showing up selling the next piece of equipment in a year's time, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's more about, just because you know everything about the product and how it's used and all the features and the benefits and everything else, and you seem to know everything, doesn't mean somebody's going to be like, okay, well, where do I sign? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's about understanding that sometimes people need to see the value, but you also have to say, like, do you want to go ahead? Like, you almost have to ask for that
And
partnership, right?
What three things are you borrowing from your past too? When you were talking about a certain piece of technology, were you kind of relating back to your history? Like,
Yeah.
how much did that help?
And that is where having clinical knowledge really helps. I see where you're going with that, because the challenges that everybody has, and especially with implementing new technology, like you said, it's like you don't want it sitting in the corner, but that's what happens when there isn't good training and not geared towards the clinic and how busy they are and how people learn, because everybody learns very differently. And because you do one day of training doesn't mean that everybody's going to pick it up and be like, okay, I'm good to go. It's kind of an ongoing thing. And sometimes it's longer for some than others.
For sure. And I think too, is how connected is that practice too? If it's discombobulated, they really need to be organized and get reserve the time to make sure that they're spending the time to learn this stuff too, right?
Yeah.
To be successful.
And I do see value in dentists. Ultimately, it's your practice, of course. Like, you buy what you feel you need, but you also need the cooperation of your team. And if they suddenly come into the practice on Monday after a holiday and they've got all this new equipment, it's like, here, use this printer and stuff. It's like, hold on, what? What am I doing? What do I have to do now? It's a lot to take in.
It's always I'm through a lot of practices, and it's always really interesting. Like, you walk to this corner and there's still like the plastic covering on like the equipment that they purchased like 3 months ago. Like, when are you going to start using this stuff? Like, I still have to figure it out and where it fits in my workflow. Like, that's a red flag for me.
100%.
I think that's irresponsible of the dealer that sold those pieces of equipment. Like, I really think the salespeople should enter this as like a partnership, where they're kind of an extension of the team. They're almost like the consultative type, where they're, this will fit in your workflow, because they really understand what the practice is all about, and they could sort of have the vision of that being successful. I think that's where you see the high caliber rep versus the ones that are just kind of like, well, this is the deal.
Here's our quarterly deal
here's
right now.
Here's the deal this month. You're going to get $100,000 off. Like,
it's a fit for everyone.
Yeah.
No.
And I've been through where the Cerax in the corner, like the expensive coat hanger, I've heard it referred to. That's a nightmare for obviously that's part of my past is like, I would never want to make a sale where the aftermath was this thing. Just like, I never wanted to get that call like, Mark, can you take this thing out of here because we're not using it, right?
And I didn't even get to that point. My role actually evolved into CAD/CAM. Then I became a CAD/CAM specialist, and I was selling Cerax and scanners and printers and all of that, which is a bit of a conflict of interest, considering our family business is the dental lab.
Yeah.
But I can confidently say,
let's dive into that, because
Yeah.
that whole aspect is really interesting to me, because like obviously single unit posterior work is kind of bread and butter business
Yeah.
for the laboratory. So yeah, but like this tech, like we'll dive into this too. Like this technology is undeniable. To go against it is like, we'll dive into sort of the laboratory stuff after this, because that's, you know, where we're at now. But you know, the laboratories out there really need to evolve into whatever that next piece is, right?
Yeah.
The work is always going to be there. The laboratory is always going to exist, but it's going to evolve with the market.
Yeah.
And I've heard several laboratories come up with ideas like the single unit, quick, digital only option. And it's been very difficult.
Yeah.
It's kind of the commoditized race to the bottom. I heard there was, I was talking to the folks at Orem Ceramics, and they had a digital crown, and they were up against like a $29 crown.
Wow. Yeah.
$29.
I've heard it all.
Yeah, right. So it's tough. And let's value too what the laboratory is all about. Like the I'm going off on a tangent. Like I'm excited about what laboratory and the registered dental technician has to offer the industry. I think if we move away from that being a checkpoint in this service to the patient, I think we're missing out on something really massive. So
yeah, I love this conversation because I can speak to both sides.
Totally.
I sold a lot of systems, and I can confidently say I never had any offices with machines sitting in the corner, because I understand the value of the lab, and I knew who was a good candidate and who was not. I was definitely not trying to sell that equipment, similar to like what you were saying,
and
to everybody, you know, because it doesn't fit everyone.
And what does it mean to have a same visit crown? Like that is a pretty cool offering for a clinic that is ready to bring that sort of thing on. Like, well,
let's just bring this reality though first. Is yes, it's a single visit crown, but that's a stressful appointment, and if anything goes wrong, that hour and a half or hour that you've booked is 2 hours, and it pushes your whole day back. That's a lot of stress. And also when you implement the technology, you have to be comfortable sucking at first. For sure. Are you okay with doing not the best work initially? And that's something that isn't talked about.
Like I wouldn't do anything anterior with like a mill or anything like that. Like there's no
that's
way.
Pretty challenging.
And if it was a single unit, okay. But like as soon as it came to the multi-unit quadrant stuff, I would leave that up to a laboratory that I trusted if I was running the practice. Yeah, for sure. Like any learning curve with any piece of technology, but it's undeniable. Like,
I mean, training is really important. And I think labs are evolving in that we just want to make things easy for the dentist. And
we talked about this too long term, right?
Yeah. And productive time is time spent in front of your patient, doing surgery, all of that. And there's going to be tons of clinics that never want to incorporate the technology. So there's always going to be a place for the lab.
Oh, 100%.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it comes down to partnership. I think if we collaborate and we help with the bigger cases and give those step-by-step steps and work backwards with bigger cases, that's where we fit in the partnership with a dentist.
I'm saying totally a lot today. I don't know.
I say totally a lot too.
Yeah. I'm agreeing with a lot.
Good.
Like you're saying. Totally. I'm a Valley girl from California, right?
Is that maybe a Surrey thing?
It's a Surrey thing. Well, we forgot. We could reverse even further back in time. So, Elise, you and I went to high school together, right? Like, it's such a small world, right? So, what did you gain from your time? You know, as a digital specialist? We don't need to name company names or anything. Like, you can if you want. But what were the, like, I was part of this company as well. Like it was such a great learning experience. Again, I'm not not a corporate type person. It wasn't really a good fit for me. I obviously spread my wings and do more creative things. But what did you gain from your time?
Oh, so much fun learning experiences.
Yeah.
And especially with the technology, it's constantly evolving. So I was always learning new things. So it was the perfect type of job for me at the time. And I loved it all the way until kind of just before the end. And then I felt like I could do everything that I could possibly do in that role. And
There's
it was
no more
time to
growth,
move on from there.
Right.
But so many things that I learned. And really, I learned a lot about myself and my capacity to learn, which was awesome. And it was actually Henry Schein. They took a chance on me. I had no experience in sales, no experience even with digital. And honestly, I never worked with any of that technology before I started actually selling it, training it, supporting it. So everything that I learned was like on the job, on the spot, right? And constantly changing. So I'm proud of what I was able to do and achieve. And they supported me through that. I had lots of fun trips and training trips and lots of like a great community around me. And I just have nothing but good things to say about it. It was just like part of my life, you know?
It's always hard. It's the people, right? That, you're spending all this time working alongside these people and to then move on. I think that for me was the most difficult part. Yeah. But like now, so here we are. We're catching up to
the present day.
This present day. We're doing a little time travel today. Now, you got to this a certain point in your career that it was time to move on. Now there's even more discovery for you right now, right? Like you're with Ocean. You're working, alongside your husband and your family. The Newbers are your family. Like I was, we were at Newber wedding. That cannon was crazy.
Yeah.
So they have this
family tradition.
Newber cannon, and I was there actually did some video and was the DJ. I've never been a DJ before, but great people. They give a shit about what their output. Case in point, Tyrell running around on the phone with doctors all day long. That's a really, really crucial piece to that cog as well. And their passion behind their work, it's cool.
They really, really care. And it's interesting working with the Ocean team. It's like they each have these unique kind of gifts and roles that they play. And together, it's like this transformer. Like they're like a superpower together, It's like each person fills in a different kind of
like a Power Ranger. They're making a Megazord.
Exactly. Yeah. The Power Rangers.
We
are like the Power Rangers.
What would you call them? The Ocean Rangers? I don't know. We'll have to figure that out.
We're going to have to think about that and add it in later, I think. I think I can come up with something.
Yeah.
But everybody has a different gift. And together, it's just like, it's such a good company to partner with.
Sure.
And me, obviously they're family for me, which actually made me a little bit worried about joining in.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know if I could work with my husband. I don't want to mess with this. Like this is a good chemistry and I don't want to have life and work just intertwined.
Sure.
Is that going to be good or not? But it's been amazing. And I think it's just a different vibe when you're working for a family-owned company that everybody really cares about the team and the business, the partnership that we offer, and our clients.
Totally.
It's just and my ideas were just encouraged.
I'm saying
awesome.
Totally again. Right? Obviously,
fits,
I've spent some time working with them too, and just it's great. You're part of the family, and and the output is all positive. What's your role now? Let's talk about exactly what they have you doing.
Okay, so this is really cool.
Now that you have all this dental brain of all these different things, how does that fit into a laboratory world?
Well, essentially, I took everything that I loved about my roles previously and just created this role for myself in the lab. So I feel like there's a niche that not a lot of labs really can fill or fulfill, I should say. And that is bridging the gap from the clinical side. What does the dentist and the patient need from you, right? Like, and then the lab side, what do we need from the dentist to create this good result in the end, sort of thing. So there's things that happen on the clinical side and things that happen on the lab side, and usually both sides don't really understand what the other side needs.
Sure.
And I kind of like bridge that gap and make the connections. And really it's about streamlining the process, because it does have to be a partnership between both sides and to get the best product in the end. So if I can make that process smoother and I can communicate what they want, what the dentist wants, and what the lab wants, then I know that we're going to create a better product than anybody else can.
That's, to me, like, I'm not just blowing smoke, but like knowing that whole, because my brain's there too, seeing that all, like, that's a powerful thing. When we talk about, translating a patient in the chair to whatever their treatment would be, having a well-versed spectrum of options for that patient would, clinical outcomes are going to be, and case acceptance. We talk about these things. Like, I don't know if practices are aware of the complete offering, especially like Ocean Ceramics. Like, that's like a multi-generational laboratory with, those guys are doing all sorts of really innovative things, right?
Yeah, we are like full service. We do the simple stuff and we do the really tough stuff too.
So, if you think in terms of like the spectrum of treatment options, it only makes sense to have that communication in between your laboratory and patient and practice, and a collaboration in between clinical, on the floor of the practice and what's happening in the laboratory. Now with digital, it makes it even more fun, because you're talking about cases and looking at screens, sometimes when the patient's in the chair.
Yeah. And what I would say, I wish more dentists would actually come to us before they do treatment on a certain patient and say, like, here's where they're at, and provide photos, models, and then we talk about it and say, oh, well, you could do this or you could do that, or this is how I'd execute it. And just, again, thinking backwards, like from the end product and moving backwards from that, because we can help a lot with that. And even the presentation of it for your patients, it's like we just give you that confidence to say, like, boom, 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 these are the steps. And make it easy. And this predictability.
This is like, exactly, and this is where my head was at when you're talking about, like, what is the the RDT offer the industry, and this is just it. Like, there should be a like, every new dentist out there get to know the labs in the area, and obviously in BC, even beyond, like, call James and Dave, like, have a, like, spend an hour, or with yourself too, because you're well versed as well.
Yeah.
Spend an hour getting to know your lab. Like, go for lunch or go for dinner and really talk about, just have a conversation and start there, and then continue into the future. They're going to make you a better dentist.
Yeah, part of my role, and what I love most about my role, is going into offices and talking to the dentist, talking to the team, finding out what equipment they have, how they do a consultation, what things, how they offer different options, how they explain it, and then what things they do now and they like doing, what they want to do more of, but they're not really doing because maybe they don't feel, they're not really sure how to do it. It's like so awesome. That is what I love.
Like, we've talked about this, obviously, in your transition from Shine to what you're doing now. Like, the light is back in your eyes. Like, this is like, you're passionate about this and helping people. This is a really good fit for you, isn't it?
It is. And you know what? I think I struggled as a salesperson, because sometimes it feels like you're not giving enough to like warrant the commission or whatever. It's like, I feel like I need to do more for you. I feel like I need to help you more. So I would go above and beyond. and do more than I probably could. And I got burnt out by that.
Yeah, right.
And I struggled with that sales side of things because I always feel like I have to serve, do more. And so now I get to like do all of that. I get to serve my people and in the ways that I enjoy doing and I'm passionate about, and it's just really fun.
And it's when you're turning a situation into like a win-win, everybody's winning. Like obviously, that stands to Ocean Ceramics doing more with the particular practice that you're communicating with. Like that's and like that's an immense amount of value. If they have Ocean is invested in putting you now out in front of people to deliver, that is an awesome service, especially with your background of knowledge, to have somebody like that who's come from like a dealer like Henry Schein and has clinical background. You get it. And just obviously, you know, around the dinner table, you guys are talking about laboratory outcomes and all that too. That's a powerhouse. Like that's if I'm a dentist in the area, I want to work with Ocean Ceramics and work with Elise coming through. So we've talked about you've taken a coaching course, and that's kind of where you're at now. You're trying to implement this aspect into this now blend that you come to the table with. Like, let's talk about what that looks like. And now this is sort of in development at this point, right? This is going to be your next evolution in your offering and Ocean's package. Let's talk about that.
Yeah. So interesting that you bring that up. I believe that everything happens for a reason. And my whole journey with Henry Schein was meant to happen to get me to where I am today. Everything I learned is helping me in my role today. And one of the things that I did a few years ago, I wanted to take a coaching program with Canada Coach Academy. I did that. I completed it. And partway through it, I thought, like, how am I going to use this? I just can't see myself being like a life coach. You know, I feel like it's kind of an oversaturated market. And I guess part of me, like, I didn't feel like, why would somebody pay me to help them with their life, you know? And I guess I didn't really feel like I had my life together at the time. So I was the one that was getting the coaching. I'm the one that needs a life coach.
You're projecting.
Totally.
That happens sometimes, right?
And so, I just had this crisis of self by the end of it. And I thought, like, why did I do this? I'm not going to actually do anything with it. I feel like I'm better for doing the program, but it made it clear that I'm the one that actually needed the coaching. So I did that. I didn't pursue it. I just did the training, and then I kind of moved on from that. And recently I had this revelation thinking about the coaching program, and it teaches a framework for how a coaching session should run. And there's certain steps and questions that you ask at different times. And the goal would be to satisfy what your client's expectation was for the day, like get a resolution by the end, basically. So I thought, I wonder if this would apply to the new patient consultation. I wonder what that would look like. And so I started thinking about it. And you know, when you get those ideas and it's like, you almost get like the shivers, right? You're just this is straight from God. Like this idea is from God right now.
Yeah.
And so I came in and I'm just like writing all these notes and everything. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is brilliant. And then I start building this program and building out this framework for how a consultation should run. And the problem that I was trying to address was that sometimes dentists will overcomplicate things. They'll show too many options, say all this dental talk, and patients pretend they know what you're talking about and the x-rays mean something to them, but it doesn't. They don't get it. And we overwhelm them, and then they end up leaving without a next step. There's no plan, there's no next step, there's no booked appointment, and the worst case scenario would be they never come back.
Right.
So if I could create a program, a system for dentists and their teams to all use, then it will bring more predictability, more efficiency to the consultation, and actually help you to create that rapport and the trust from the patient earlier on in the appointment. and get them talking so they actually tell you what their expectations are for treatment, what their goals are, what matters to them, what motivates them to seek treatment. And then you get that next step and you create these lifelong patients that feel understood and valued. And then dentist feels valued, patient feels valued. They tell their friends and family, and then you build a practice of these lifelong patients that get you.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So, yeah, that's what I did. I just like build out this program, and I'm just like, I want to give it to everybody and just help. I want to help dentists and their teams love what they do. I want them to have no problem having patients and getting new patients and keeping the patients that they have and doing the kind of dentistry that they love.
Have you been beta testing? Do you have a practice that you're working with currently?
No, you guys are in luck. I'm just unveiling it right now.
Yeah. Awesome.
So, I just built it.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, if somebody wanted to get in touch, like what would they do then if they were interested?
Oh, reach out to me. You're going to share my contact info and everything?
Yep.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's part of your permission. Okay.
Yes.
I'll put it in the show notes.
Of course.
I'll put your email address. Is that cool?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
You can put my cell. That's fine. No, don't do it.
No.
I'm on Instagram too. But
there you go. That's actually, don't put your cell phone up there. It's maybe, whatever, right? Yeah.
You think, do you want to go on a date?
2:30 in the morning.
I'm spoken for.
Hey, are you happy right now? You got somebody from the other side of the planet, right? Trying to win your heart.
Oh no! Now they know the secret to my heart.
Yeah. Getting things done, right?
Yeah.
Awesome, Elise. This is like long overdue to have you in here. What was kind of stewing through your brain? Something that we didn't cover. Was there anything on the drive-in or last night or like in thoughts that you'd like to put out there into the universe?
No, I think we talked about everything. We talked about more than I even thought we were going to talk about.
Yeah, good.
It was really good.
Yeah, I'm proud of you. It's nice to see you like smiling and doing well. You've always been one of my favorites out there, and I know how hard you work. So, just keep doing your thing, and like I think you're in the right spot. You know what I mean? I think you're going to thrive, and I think you're going to be able to spread your wings and be creative and do your thing, which is look out. It's going to be great. And we'll leave it at that. Again, I'll put Elise's information in the show notes, and that's the first podcast of 2026.
Woo! Kicking it off.
Thanks for coming into the studio
Mark.
too. And that is a wrap.